Hey, I'm just about to start this video and I already need to go toilet. That's a symptom we gotta talk about. One sec. I came back with a few snacks as well, because if you know anything about pregnancy, honey, food is your total desire. It's like, I feel like I've been pregnant for ages. I've been pregnant for 10 whole months. They say 9 months. And I don't know why they say 9 months. That actually irritates my soul. That gets on my nerves because I'm not pregnant for 9 months. If you look at 40 weeks, that's 10 months. And I'm 41. So you're saying I'm about to be pregnant for 10 and a half months? So basically you're making a baby for a whole year. No wonder it takes 2 to 3 days to get out of this. Every time I'm like, oh my God, what's that feeling? What's that feeling? Is it here? Is it time? Having no idea, but it's, you know, it's exciting and it's been a nice pregnancy. I've had nausea, a lot of nausea. So it's one of those things where I am ready. I'm definitely ready. I wasn't ready before. I did tell this baby, I said, baby, you need to stay inside up till the due date. And baby said, okay. To be honest, I don't even know what I'm having. None of us know. We both decided that we don't want to find out. So it's going to be a total surprise, because I feel like after all that pushing and sweating and all that pain, well, I shouldn't even say pain, all that strain, that's going to help bring this baby into the world. I need something to look forward to. And I'm hoping to have a water birth so it can just kind of just out. So there's some things I've been taking to help that process, because I do not want to be induced. I don't want no twiddling fingers. I don't want no hooks. I don't want any syringes. I don't want nothing. You just leave my body alone and let it come natural. You know what I'm saying? I prayed and my God said to me, listen, it's gonna come when I say. So I said, well, I hear you, and I'll make sure they know that. So that's what we're gonna do. So I want to get straight into this video where I can share with you some of the symptoms I've had during my pregnancy. Some of the stuff I didn't even know. They didn't even tell me. This is my second pregnancy. I had a baby 14 years ago. My baby, 14 years old, big as ever. And I don't remember half of this stuff that I'm experiencing with this pregnancy. So I'm going to share that with you, because you will watch videos, right, and read articles, and some of it they just be missing out. Okay, let's get into it. You know, some of the common ones was nausea. I felt nauseous, and so it's actually come back towards the end of my pregnancy. I'm feeling like sick, and you just don't know what it is, and you feel like, is it something I ate? Is it something I done? But I remembered, like, oh yeah, I'm pregnant. Because sometimes I actually wake up in the morning and forget I'm pregnant and get up to go, and then your hips are like, no. I'm like, what? And I'm like, oh. Stuck right in your tracks. It's actually hilarious. But you know, we get the you know, the normal things like nausea and feeling very tired, super tired. They call it fatigue or tiredness. I had a lot of that, and even now it does come to me, and I try to ignore it, but I should stop doing that, because I think that is your body telling you it's time to relax. You're growing a whole human being. The body needs to relax. It's like when you are eventually born and you're going through childhood right into 18 years old, your body's growing that whole time, and sleep is essential. If you look at the sleeping guide, younger children need a lot more sleep than adults, and there's a reason for that. It's because their body's maturing and nourishing, and the body needs to rest in order to be able to do the work. So it's the same here. I need to rest so the body can do the work. So let's just hope everything's fine. But I haven't had no major concerns during my pregnancy at all, and it's been a beautiful pregnancy, like I said. One of the things I've been experiencing is melanoma. I could be saying that wrong, because you know me, the pregnancy don't have your mind confused like anybody's business, and I will make up words. So if I do a little bit of that, I'm sorry. But melanoma, and that's where you have melanin coming into the body. It's just dark. You get these dark patches everywhere. So mine are like quite heavily on my breasts. Obviously you got the dark pregnancy line that all women get, but my thighs are really dark. And to be honest with you, everywhere's dark. It's like I look at myself and think, wow, is it summertime? But then I think, no, it's not summertime. It's not. So why am I so dark? I'm dark like I've just had a tan from sitting in the sun all day, and that is as a result of the hormonal changes that happen in the body. That's funny, because your nipples, right, obviously have got the melanin on there, right? They go from looking like 50p, the size of a damn 10-pound note in a circular way. That coupled with my dark skin, I'm like, where is the nipple? Sorry, I shouldn't even share that. Where's the nipple? It's like the whole thing black. And that's another thing. Your nipples just double in size, you know, double in size. This is my husband who noticed it at first, of course. And he was like, babe, my nipples is big. And I'm like, I still couldn't really see the difference, but now, I mean, I see they're like triple the size. Your nipples really grow, and I guess it's getting ready for the little duckling to be suckling. I'm definitely going to do some breastfeeding with my baby. And then obviously they get really sore. Like, one thing is when you get cold outside, or even if you're in your yard, because we're just coming out from winter, sometimes you wake up in the morning and the heating might not be on yet. The thing, let me tell you, when cold hits me and these little girls start to stand up, oh my goodness, it's painful. It's almost like someone's doing this, and I'm like, screaming. It's painful. Another thing is the girly girl, your main chick, the boss girl. She double inside. The girl get big. She get thick. Yeah, juicy. I wouldn't say juicy, but she gets thick. She gets, like, you know, obviously there's, due to all the hormonal changes in your body, and you get, you know, a lot more blood flowing around your body, and obviously that means there's a lot more going on, right? And one thing I've noticed is your girl is definitely swollen. Now, Jamaicans tend to love that. They be saying, oh yes, the fat, right? Or fat banana. That's what them say. And they love it. They love it. This is what's happening. So when you're pregnant, if you got a Jamaican husband, he gonna love you. Certain underwears, you need to switch it up a little bit and wear like comfortable grandmas. I've been wearing grandma knickers, I ain't gonna lie. Cute ones, but they're the grandma ones, because the idea of wearing like a G-string or a thong, it don't work. It's just not comfortable. And I find that not just you chunk it down there, but also the gap between the vag and the bum hole, the gap wide. It's almost like it's widened. You know what I'm saying? You see how before when you're laying down, you have some intimacy with your husband or your wife or your partner, and then sometimes you can accidentally slip. You be like, oh, wrong hole. You can't make that mistake now. They separate far away, and I'm like, whoa, this is interesting. One thing I have noticed is that the girl's juicy. It's like milkshake everywhere. You know what I mean? I thought when you get pregnant, you don't even need to worry about pads because you ain't having periods. Girl, you gotta worry about the panty liner because the girl's juicy. So you have to line those undies to make sure it's catching all the juice. And it's like, she stays constantly ready. You know, if your husband's, you know, in the mood, the foreplay, you don't even need to do that, because you just take off, right up in there, just slip and slide right in there. That's all you got to do, because the girl's very juicy. And then when you are slipping and sliding inside there, it's like, it's juice. Sorry, this is so much detail. Let me tell you, let me eat some strawberries. You know what I'm saying. To add on to this, because these three kind of go hand in hand, this slipping and sliding, she smells really, really nice. It's actually a lovely, sweet smell. It reminds me of the animal world because it changes during ovulation. It becomes so sweet. Not that it's not normally sweet, but this is like super sweet. So I just go, Me, I'm showering twice a day, sometimes even 3 times a day. I find that my body feels so precious that I feel like I just got to keep it super clean and keep everything super clean. Especially, I guess you don't want no infections to go up there, and you want your baby to be just as pure as possible and come out into as much goodness as possible, because you know there's a lot of vagina goodness, and when the baby's sliding through, it's getting a lot of goodness. So you know, you want it to have as much of that as possible, and that means keeping yourself clean and hygienic. And girl, I'm doing that, but the smell is so sweet. I'm like, yes, I'm loving it. I'm loving it, okay? It kind of leads us nicely onto the next one, because in pregnancy, you are sweating. Your body has a lot more blood flow. Your natural temperature would increase. So you find that you'll be doing nothing, and then you'll develop a little sweat patch around your arms, or you just feel hot and you're like having to fan yourself. And it's just purely because you've got a lot more blood in the system. You're finding yourself hot, so you're just washing yourself all the time, trying to keep yourself cool, which really does help. But perspirating, high on the list there, and slightly annoying, because sometimes, especially if you're going out to a gathering and you want to look good, and then you've put on this dress and then it's like you've got sweat patches coming through. That's just very unattractive. It is what it is. One of the most beautiful things that I have been experiencing, you know, I'm getting a little bit shy, is orgasms are off the chain, okay? And they are so intense. We can keep it real here, right? You are adults, I'm an adult, let's talk. orgasms? Oh my goodness gracious me. Actually, there's a lot more blood in the system. This blood in the system is a cause for many, many different things. But this orgasm thing, right? Let me tell you, it takes a lot more longer for you to get there. But the beautiful thing is, although it's taken longer, it's like you're at your peak. It's like you're going, and then you know how you can get here before you hit the proper peak. You get there, and then you kind of stay in there for a very long time, and it's just like, oh my god. And then you get to the peak, and that is just astronomical in feeling ships. You get the hell out, you get a shake. You know? That's a beautiful thing. Orgasm is a beautiful thing, especially when it's shared between two people who decided to give their lives to each other. It's a beautiful thing. Oh, sorry. See? And the air just be coming out, no stopping itself, so we just gotta hang in there. So one thing I don't remember in my last pregnancy that's happening a lot in this pregnancy is that there's a hormone called progesterone which relaxes your digestive system. It relaxes a lot of things in your system actually, and it causes you to do a lot more farting and burping. So there's a lot more gas building up. Your intestines relax, so rather than it being strong and pulsating and pushing the poo through like your body would do on a normal day, it's all relaxed, so it's not really pushing it through, and therefore it causes a lot more air to build up. You would eat, right, have a sandwich, which happened to me the other day. I was at one of the baby's birthday, and they had cheese sandwiches there, and me who can't stop eating, loving eating at the moment, I thought just a nice plain cheese sandwich is nice with white bread. I don't even eat white bread, honey, but white bread with the cheese sandwich, just butter. Oh, I saw that. I took 5 or 6 of those, put them on my plate, you know, the little triangles, and I ate it. It was nice, had some grapes. And then next thing you know, I'm like, I'm having to tap my tummy here, tap my tummy there. I'm like, honey, can you pat my back? And he's there patting my back. I actually need to be winded a lot of the time now, because the digestion is so slow. You have to get winded like a newborn baby just to push things along. I tell you one thing, you fart and burp like no one's business, so all your mannerisms are out the window, and you just have to apologize for yourself and just say, look, sorry, it's part of pregnancy. So when I'm out for dinner at a birthday dinner where it's a sit down event, I literally have to be like and they're coming, it's just like there's not even a gap between it. You're just it's so embarrassing. But it's one of the things of pregnancy, and because you know that's what it is, it's like, just take me as I am. Take me as I am, or leave me the hell alone, okay? Alongside that, obviously, when you do all the burping and the poor digestion, comes with constipation. A huge one I've been battling throughout this whole pregnancy is being constipated. As you know, when you're pregnant, you take extra vitamin and minerals. You take things that are high in iron and folic acid, and you can get one pill that has everything in it, which I've been taking. And since taking that, my digestion is kind of like banged up, which is weird because you think, I've got all the minerals and hormones I need, why is my system doing the other thing? But it's because the iron does make you constipated, and it makes your poo black, and they come out small, like small little pebbles, and that's so irritating because you'll go 4 or 5 days without pooing. Not everyone will have that experience, I'm just talking about my things. And as I went through it, I was like, damn, moaning, you're uncomfortable, you know, you want to just be able to eat a meal and poo it out the next day, and you can't. The doctor did give me something called lactulose, but that just gave me wind. I had strong wind after that, so I didn't even bother eating, because now not only was I constipated, but I was constipated with wind, and I'm there tapping just to get it all out. Oh, it was the worst. So sometimes doctors don't know what the hell they're doing. They just follow a guide, a booklet, which is irritating because they're not, I don't know, I just don't feel like they're speaking to pregnant women and seeing what works and just cutting straight to the chase, you know. I ended up taking probiotics, prebiotics, probiotics, and that worked miracles. And I took one that had a digestive enzyme in, very good quality one. It had like 25 billion good bacterias, and that regulated me. That got me to poo once a day again. I think it's called Bioactive or something like that. I think I'll find it and put it up here. But that worked miracles for me. And I never ever told the doctor or the midwife again that I had you know what? Being as I'm in the moment now, I'm gonna say it. Another thing you do is you lose your damn brain cells, and that's really frustrating because you'll be having a meeting, you're in the middle of talking, and then it just goes. It's almost like someone's like, I I'll take that thought. And you're there stuck like, what was I gonna say? Do you know, it happens all the time. Or you put something on to cook and you completely forgot you put it on to cook. So like my husband likes boiled eggs. So I put on a little boiled egg for him, and then I forgot I even put the boiled egg, and he'd be like, babe, something's burning. And I go and look, I'm like, when did I even put that on? There's no recollection of doing certain things. Your memory's swiped. There's more blood flow in the body. You would think your brain would be more sharp. But no, I think all the good part of the brain has gone to making this baby's brain, and as a result, your brain don't have a brain. So it's worked out well that I work for myself, but I have had issues with tenants saying, oh, I thought you said you were going to do this. And I'm like, did I? So I've got to go through all my records and be like, oh yeah, I did say that. Your family get used to it. And they stop blaming you after a while because they realise, wow, this is a real thing for you, isn't it? You really are dumb at the moment. You really have no brain cells. And it's like, yes, I really have no brain cells. So just take it easy on me, which is what they do. And that's really nice. Another thing is that you get sore gums. Like you get really sore gums. And this is what they call pregnancy gingivitis. And that's when you get sore, bleeding gums during your pregnancy. And they say it's as a result of having a plaque buildup. Now that for me is incorrect because I brush my teeth twice a day. I just take a lot of pride in my teeth and in my mouth care. I've always wanted to be that person that when you talk to me, my breath smells nice or just doesn't have a smell. You know, there's no smell to it. So that's something that is just natural. But in saying that, they say it's as a result of not brushing your teeth enough and having plaque build up. Totally incorrect. The sore gums and the bleeding gums has been a lot. And when I actually watch something on the Indian pregnancy channels, because I kind of watch like worldwide pregnancy advice, because it's so different. What they give advice for in India is different to what they give in South Africa, different to what they give in West Africa, different to Australia. Everywhere's just so different. You got, sorry, see? Sorry. And it's probably because I'm eating the strawberries. You've got the core ones, you know, take your iron supplements, take all that other stuff, but then you have some additional ones that they don't mention. Now, one thing that I did get from the Indian channels is really increasing your calcium intake, which means drinking a lot more milk, which I don't even drink milk like that. So, you know, I just started to drink a lot more milk, but they have gotten a lot more sore. And it's probably because I am at the end of my pregnancy. The baby's overcooking now. It's like, hello, get out. But it does hurt to bite something. You know, I had lamb chops 2 days ago, because that's what pregnancy does. You just get these random cravings. I also do think it's in line with what I was having a deficiency in. I think I was borderline in with iron, and my body's like, you need to get more iron. So suddenly, like weirdly enough, I've just wanted spinach, just loads of spinach, which I've been having. I probably have a bag a day at the moment. And red meat, just really wanting it. So my husband went and got me some nice lamb chops, and I ate those lamb chops. I ate them. You know, I didn't share it. I didn't share. Let me tell you, when you're pregnant, you think I got time to be sharing food? In pregnancy? Honey, I got the green light to do all the selfish things. And I'm absolutely taking them. I had the circular lamb chops, those nice round ones, thick, juicy, but I think that was the more, I'm not really into red meat like that. Now this next one has been a real thorn in my side because I'm quite an independent person. Being an entrepreneur, you are independent, you just get up and go, you don't really wait on people. The idea of asking for help unless I'm paying for it, that's quite foreign to me. I have been suffering from a lot of hip pain. They call it round ligament pain, and that has been quite frustrating because you can't walk for that long. Like you waddle a lot, and it's gotten more now so than before. Yesterday I went to go and do a bit of food shopping, and I waddled like a damn duck. And you feel so vulnerable if your pregnancy is not an obvious, like I'm showing, I'm not huge pregnant, but I'm like, if I could show you, you know, I'm big enough, but I wouldn't say I'm huge. If it's not obvious to you that I'm pregnant, you wouldn't really know, and you'll be looking at me waddling thinking, what is going on with this girl? And on Sunday when I went out to the shops, I went around, and then I got back into the car, and it was such a mission because your hips hurt so much. It's like you're walking and it's strain, and then as soon as you go onto the other side, it's strain. So each step you're taking it's like the bone struggling to stay in its socket, and it wants to, you know, it's painful, like almost like it wants to fall out. So you got to kind of hold it in, which I know it's not going to fall out, but it just hurts. And I feel like there's a big gap as well, I think, but because the baby, well, I'm 41 weeks, so it's because the baby's right there and it's dropped down even more. It's like you've got something sitting on your bladder, and it's like you're almost clenching your vag, so it doesn't drop through, you know, and then that feels like a big weight. And then you need to go toilet, and I'm like, the toilet's way down there. Why would they make the toilet so far in the supermarket? Why would they do this? So you get upset about these things. Like, do you know what I did? You know what I did? I'm upset about it. I got right back in the car and I cried. I said, this is just too much. And I did a big cry. And that's probably another thing you gotta notice in pregnancy. You cry over everything. But this was a genuine cry because my hips hurt. All I was trying to do is get some stuff, and I had to waddle everywhere, and then on top of it, the toilet's so far, I'm not going to go that far. In reality, it probably would have been about 15, probably about 25 steps, but that was the longest 25 steps when you still got to go to the checkout over there. So I just thought, they haven't thought about the plan of this shop properly. And then I was sitting here feeling angry with myself that I wasn't in the gym before, taking it seriously enough so my muscles can handle all of this, you know? But then there's people who are in the gym and they still get sore muscles anyway. They've got sore hips anyway. But that pain is real. And now I've had to kind of just firm it. And it's funny because you actually want to stay home. I mean, I don't. Mentally, my mind's planning my day for me. I wake up and my mind has a whole to-do list, which I did do the night before, so it reminds me of my whole to-do list. And then it's like, right, where are we going? And I'm like, no, we can't. My body's like, no, we can't. And my mind's like, yes, we can. Where are we gonna? And my body says, no, you need to chill today. And I'm like, chill? I'm not staying in. No. Think about one thing that you need today and go and get it. And I'm like, okay. And you know, of course, I can always think about something I need. I'm a woman. Women always need stuff, don't they? So that is the real mental dilemma that I have with myself on a daily basis, every morning and every afternoon. But one thing you do want to do, you want to stay home. You want to stay close to home. You want to be home. Home tends to be your base, and you don't want to stray too far from it. So even though I want to go out, like now I want to go to the range and get some glue sticks because I've been doing the baby's chest drawers, where the inside of them I'd like to compartmentalize them, do some compartments, and rather than going to the shops and buying them, which I did do, and they never fit equally. I like things to be very precise. I'm a Virgo, this is what we do. So I've decided to create my own, and it looks really nice. I need the glue from the glue gun to do that, and my mind's like, oh, you gotta go get your glue, you gotta go get your glue. But in the other essence, it's like, no, my waters could break, and if my waters break while I'm out there in that world, that would be horrible. I can't imagine nothing worse than my water's breaking and I'm by myself. So you know what my ass do? That mind that says you need to go out, I tell it, not no more. Unless my husband's coming or my son is coming, I'm not going anywhere. And sometimes they both don't want to go anywhere because they're men, they know how the woman is. You say you want to go to one shop, 3 shops later you're still trying to beg them to do 2 more shops. About this one is big feet. Your feet actually grow, and that's obviously because the relaxing that happens in your body with the joints and the muscles, it causes the joints to separate ever so slightly, and therefore these little bones in your feet which would have had tight gaps now have bigger gaps. And they've separated, and my feet, not how they've gone longer, but they've gone wider because you can see I got a little bit of extra chin going on. I'm getting weight. Okay, this is how mama's become voluptuous, and in my voluptuousness, some of that's gone to my feet. So you know what it's like when you go for a run, right? You go for a run and you're just out of breath after doing a long run. That is me on a day-to-day basis. Literally, you are out of breath and you've done nothing. I could be talking to you, sitting here, and you're like, it's an interesting experience because there's times where I'm breathing and I feel like I'm not getting enough air. It's almost like I wish I had an oxygen mask that I can put over my mouth and be just to get all the air that I need, because it's like you're just not getting enough air. It's almost like you're suffocating. That was an ongoing thing, like regular, being out of breath and feeling like you're not getting enough air into your system. And just doing a small walk or doing a small thing will create you to be out of breath quite quickly. And it's funny, I remember the day my husband noticed it when we were driving one day, and I was just literally like this, just breathing normally. But you don't realise how heavy your breath becomes. And he'd be like, babe, did you run to the car or something? Or is everything all right? I mean, you're breathing quite heavy. And I was like, I know, I've noticed that. But this just seems to be the norm. We'll watch a movie and he thinks I'm asleep and he's checking and I'm not asleep. I'm just breathing heavy. You have to laugh. You have to laugh because the changes are quite horrendous. Before this blood flow, you have moles. There's a lot more increasing in moles. Got one here specifically that I've tried to pop so many times and I realise now that it is a mole. I remember, you know, creaming myself and feeling more spots here. And I'm like, what? I'm not a spotty person. My skin's quite soft and smooth. I look, it's moles. I have moles here, I have moles there, and I have some moles there that have come about. But I don't mind moles. I actually think they're quite cute. Makeup's not a huge thing for me, so I don't have to go around it and dampen it up and make it lighter or darker. I just accept the beauty for the way it's given to me. One thing I've noticed is that you wobble like you're drunk. So I'm not talking about the waddling when you're walking now, but I will get up and almost lose my balance as though I've had a drink. I go to get up and then you kind of tipple over and then you catch yourself and you're like, wow, I genuinely felt like I was about to fall to the side. It's like your head just starts taking you to the side. And they do say that's a lot of imbalance in the, not imbalance, that's genuinely because of the hormones. And this happens quite regularly. Like my husband is used to me randomly just touching him on the arm and keeps putting myself up straight again. And he'll be like, oh, are you all right? You know, yeah, I'm all right. But he knows what's happened is that I'm wobbling and stumbling like a damn pregnant drunk. One of the funny things that I have found quite interesting myself as a little giggle that I have is when I try to fit into a space, I might try and walk past somewhere, like, so say for example I've got the fridge here and there's a chair there because we've got a table in the kitchen. There's a fridge there and the table there, and I go to walk between. In my mind I can fit through that gap because typically and usually I can fit through the gap, and I go to fit through the gap and I cannot get through, and I'm like, oh, it's literally been like you go to go and you just get stopped and you're like, oh, okay, so you're still trying to push through the gap. And I'm like, if I could just turn this way, if I could just turn that way, trying to get through the gap. It is hilarious because I can't get through. This my little joke that I have with me because the amount of times my son might be sitting down and I'm trying to walk past and I almost knock him with my tummy, and he'd be like, oh, mum, you're right. Why would you try and squeeze through that? And I'm looking at him like, what do you mean try and squeeze? I can get through that gap. I can get through this gap. And you're there edging and you can't get through the gap. So any sizes where you could fit through before, you can't fit through them before. It's like I've gone from a Volkswagen Golf to now having a Range Rover, and the gaps I was fitting through before, I'm not fitting through those before. And that is a new car problem actually. When you have a small car and you upgrade to a big car, you're not fitting in half of them parking spaces and you gotta let it go. And that's what I'm finding now, is that you just have to let it go and just push the chair in and then walk past. But then I look at the size, I look back at that size that I've walked through and I think, do I need that much space just to get through? So it makes you all look at yourself like, wow, am I really that big? My mom's like, oh, don't be silly, you know, you need the space because you have a big tummy. But I'm like, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about walking this way. I'm going straight. But obviously, you know, your hips widen. How else the baby gonna come through? Oh, that's gonna be one experience, having the baby. Do you know what? I'm just being positive about that. I'm being so positive. I don't know what to expect. I'm doing a hypnobirthing strategy. That's breathing the baby out. And I just hope to God he stays with me. I hope that God stays with me. Next, sharp scratch in the groin area. They call it sharp scratch. That's more like a sharp jab. The needle jabs in your groin, where I'm walking and to the left hand side specifically. It doesn't really happen on the right. I would just get like a needle jab, like someone goes in and out with the needle and then you bend over in pain like, oh, what was that? But it's so quick that it's not a pain, it's not a long lasting pain, so you just get over it really quickly. And it looks like, you know, it looks a bit odd. I mean, when it happens, I'll be doing something, like I literally might take eggs out of the kitchen and then I'm like, oh, and my husband's like, what's that? You know, it's like, oh, it's like something happens down there. You can't really explain it. And I never had it until one day I was watching this YouTube video about this girl who was talking about some of her symptoms, because I like to listen to other people's experiences during pregnancy, and she got them. And then it's like the next day I start getting them, and I'm like, why did you watch that bloody video? Why did I take it on like that? My baby done kicked me up. This one's doing gymnastics, yeah. I sometimes say the boy is doing gymnastics. The girl, the boy, I mean, I don't know what it is, but it's doing gymnastics inside of there. But I do know that it has dropped because I can eat a lot more food. I love food, honey. I do have super strong smell. And I can smell anything from anywhere. I can just smell it. It's just so strong. And one thing I've really struggled with is cooking food. My husband's fully taken over cooking because the smell of cooking is ugh. And literally when food is being cooked, on my earth, I'm literally fanning myself. I'll put a lot of perfume on there so I can smell my perfume. They say that's to protect you. That's part of your protection. Same with the nausea. It's to protect you from ingesting things into your body that are not good for you. So that's all part of that. But it's, you know, it's funny because in saying that, I wanted raw eggs at one stage. Not raw eggs, but you know where the yolk is running? I was like fiending for that. I don't eat pork. At one stage, I was yearning for pork. Yearning. To the point where I was like, I'm just going to do it. I'm just gonna do it. And then it's like, my son's like, Mum, you better not. And I'm like, I'm just gonna do it. And it was around Christmas time, and I remember visiting some family, and they put sausage stuffing on the table. I couldn't believe it. And I was sitting there next to my husband, who's Muslim, so you know what that means. I'm looking at it, my mind's like, just do it, just do it. But I spent the whole dinner, the whole time at my in-laws, trying not to eat that pork. That's all I spent. I couldn't even tell you not one conversation we had. I could tell you some of the games we played, but I couldn't tell you any of the conversations we had at the dinner table, because all I was thinking is, I'm gonna get my hands on that pork. And my husband's looking at me like, you better not touch that pork. And anytime I got anything, they're both of their eyes like, dun, 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 dun. And I'm like, don't worry, I'm not gonna get it. But I'm sitting there thinking, you wait till the next time I stretch. The apple, caramelized onion and apple. Oh my, Sainsbury's, oh my God. Let's change the topic, because your mind can become so obsessive when you're pregnant. It's like it just fixates on one thing, and then that's it. It stays there and it churns in left to the right, up, down. It just churns. You become obsessive, and that's really frustrating. So let's move on, because I don't want to do that. And last but least, I say the best till last. Well, actually the orgasm one was the best one, but there's a huge increase in your sex drive, and you constantly want to be up with your partner doing what they do best. Okay, I feel like I'm like a bear, like a grizzly bear, running behind my husband like, give me some, because he'll look at me sometimes and be like, babe, just chill out. Babe, stop. Where's my wife? And I'm like, are we gonna have some today? Are you gonna, you know, that's what it's like. And it's so funny because it's just so natural. You wake up, and so it's not always like you wake up and it's constantly on your mind, but sometimes, some mornings you wake up and you're just throbbing, thinking, oh, you know, at some point today, that's the moment, at some point today, I need to get me some of this. And if it doesn't happen in the morning, it's happening in the afternoon. Going throb. And I'm like, no, just ignore it. And then in the evening, oh God, you have a nice shower and you're fresh and you're ready to go to bed. Oh my, drop. Oh, where's my husband? Baby, what time are you going to bed today? We're going to go to bed at the same time? As soon as I said that, baby, we going to bed at the same time? He'd be like, no. I'm busy. And it's hilarious because my mind can spend the whole day wondering how I'm gonna angle it today to be able to get what I want. And I feel like I'm like a real man. You know those men that kind of really try and manipulate women to get some ass or some sex. Not ass like a bum ass, you know, that's what they say in America, some ass, but they mean sex. When you're trying to kind of figure out ways to kind of angle it this time so it can kind of happen itself without me having to be the initiator. But no, doesn't seem to work. And I think, you know, there are some genuine fears, which are understandable, but when your needs need to be met, you're not thinking about that. I said to the midwife, is it okay to get the rendezvous with my husband during this time? She says, oh yes, not only is it okay to have, we encourage it. I was like, dun, 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 dun. Looking at my husband like, And he's like, oh, just. It's a beautiful blessing having a baby, and I hope you guys enjoy the experience. Even when you're going through the aches and the pains, the baby will be out soon and you'll be back on to number 2. So, or number 3 or number 4, depends on where you are in your journey. But you know what, I enjoyed sharing this experience with you. I hope if you liked this video and you got something from it, please press the like button. Let me know that this is what was up for you. It worked for you, it's good for you, and I will see you in another video. Bye.